everyone, welcome back to another episode of Salvage 1 Buslife Adventures. In this episode we want to talk about portable power that you can take with you on the road, hence the name portable. But I also wanted to stick into a certain category that I found to be the best option for my situation, and that is the 300 watt battery class. And I'll let you know why here in a second, my thought process on that. But also, one, it's because these units tend to be the most affordable. So you can buy at the current price of about $1 a watt or less, somewhere between 75 cents to $1 a watt, you can get a 350 watt power bank for, again, anywhere between $150 to $250. You're going to see a wide range of stuff here today. I got stuff even cheaper than that because occasionally they have sales on Amazon, which is awesome. But as a rule, for 300 watts, it's usually somewhere between 75 cents to $1 a watt. And that's affordable for pretty much anyone. That meets 99% of people's needs out on the road. I have a 40-foot bus, so because of that, I like to have because I have over 200 square feet of living space in the bus, I'll have 300 watt units spread out all across the bus and outside doing different things. Some will be in use, some will be charging. I'm never without power with these units, so that's awesome. And to me, that's why it's more economical to have several smaller units than have one big giant unit that you have to lug around everywhere, and you have to have either really long cables where you lose power during the transmission, or you have to carry it different places you want to use it. It's just a whole lot easier to carry around several smaller units, and in the long run it's cheaper, because for these 3,000, 5,000, 9,000 watt big giant batteries, they're cool to have if you're running an entire house off of it, refrigerators and the whole 9 yards. But when you're living on the road, you're not in that desperate need of that much power for that long of a time. You have options. That's my way of thinking. So I'm going to show you what I use when I'm on the road and why they're such good options. So to start with, alright, this is called the Bonsai, and right now I don't believe they're in production anymore. If you go on Amazon, they're saying currently unavailable, so I don't know if that just means they stopped making them or they ran out of inventory and they've got to make more to bring them in. But this is the first 300 watt unit power bank that I bought when I got the bus, and that's what got me to thinking that I don't really need more than 300 watts in any given unit. I got written on here 300 watt number 2 because it's basically one of 3 units I think I have of this one, and they're just great. They're addicting, it's like collecting little gadgets almost, but they're useful gadgets. It's not like matchboxes or Hot Wheels that sit on the shelf and never get used. They're just fun to look at. These things actually serve a purpose, get used, and they're fun to collect at the same time, and affordable. Alrighty, so this guy I got on Amazon for $99. They're running a sale on it, so I picked up the one, saw how fun it was, how well it worked and everything else, and then I went back and bought a second one, and then I believe I bought the third one. And the second and third ones were in the $109, so the price had gone up a little bit on them when I went back to get them, but now you can't get them anymore. So for me, $109 for 300 watts is excellent value for the dollar. I wrote down little notes here because I can't memorize things anymore for nothing. Alright, so average output is 278 watts. Peak output is 300 watts. So you can use this unit, something that's drawing 300 watts or multiple items that are going to draw a total of 300 watts. Again, based on the wattage of the item you're putting in there, you can get 1 hour, you can get a half hour, or you can get 10 hours. Just depends on what you got hooked up to it, how much power you need to draw. Pros of this thing, it's portable. It's only 7 pounds. It takes about 4 to 4.5 hours to charge off of AC. So if you plug it into a wall unit, 110 volts, 4 to 4.5 hours to completely charge. You could also charge this from the cigarette lighter in your vehicle. So on the bus, I have a 12 volt socket that I installed in there because it's a bus and didn't have cigarette lighters. But I did put in a 12-volt socket, and this charges off of that in about 6 hours from dead to full. And you do that while you're driving, because in a bus and van life and cars, you know, you're always driving everywhere, and it's good to just plug these things in, just as an not even an afterthought, just plug it in, automatically plug it in and go. And you always have something charging while you're driving. Pretty cool. This units have multiple things here that you can use, functions. We have a 12-volt inlet. This is how you charge it with your 12-volt socket, your male socket going in there. You also have USB ports, so you have a fast charging port. What's that, a QC 3.0. You also have a 5 volt 2.4 amp USB, and you also have a Type C USB. On this side you have DC output, so you can plug in anything that uses DC power, and has these little 2.5, I believe they're 2.5 millimeter plugs, and you put them in there and it'll run those. This is a light. I've yet to figure out how to make that work. I did remember how to do it one time, and then I forgot, and because I never really used the light function, I just never bothered to remember. But we'll get to that. We'll see if we can make it work. But right now, so in the back here, you plug your AC adapter into here, and this is how you charge it. You'd also run AC items off of it, so it's an input and output. And this is your DC input, so this is where you'd hook your solar panel to, and that's how you charge it from there. And then here's your power button. But let's go ahead and turn this thing on, pressing this power button, see if we can get juice to come on. So, unit is now on. It is 100% power. Didn't come with a instruction booklet. You had to figure all this stuff out on your own, but for $99, you know, I'll live with it. What I don't like is this leather handle on top. It's a leather handle that has little rivets on the top, and at some point the leather is going to stretch, and those rivets, it's going to either pull off the rivets, or the rivet might even come out of the body. I'm not sure. I don't like that part of it, so I try to pick it up from the sides whenever possible. But other than that, I have nothing bad to say about this unit. It works fine. It's been working fine. All three of them have been working fine. So let's move this out of the way and move on to the next unit. So the next one is the How Easy. So we have the How Easy unit. This one has a plastic handle molded into the top. It folds down, so not molded into the top, but connected to the top, and this is how you pick it up, and this is pretty sturdy. We have again, all of these 300 units have more or less the same features. They're all in the 300 watt range, little more, little less. They're all under $300, which makes them awesome. And this is why I would suggest them for use, and this is why I use them on the bus. Alright, so this guy here is the How Easy unit. This is a 300 watt regular output with a 380 watt peak output, which is pretty good. $187, I believe, was what this one cost. I'll have to look that up, but I think it was on sale for $159. I always go for the sale stuff because, you know, that's me. I'm just cheap that way. It has cool features. Again, all the same, but we have 2 AC outputs on this one, whereas the Bonsai only had the 1 AC. Then this little button powers it all. And let's turn this guy on over here. We're at 100%. Came out of the box just like that, 100%. We have another DC function, so there's all DC stuff here in this section. These are USBs, and these are DC outputs, and another USB here on the top, a Type C. So again, the same features as the Bonsai that we just looked at, but it has 1 extra AC port. We have a light, so here's a light button. The light is on the back. And let's see if it works. Hey, it works! And let's do that. That's your emergency flasher. Press it again. That's your SOS button. And then we're turning the light off. And also on the back here is the 12 volt charging port, where you hook that up to your vehicle and you can charge. or run stuff, put a mail in there, and it has you can run something that takes 12 volt using that type of connection. I suggest when you get these 300 units that you go to Amazon, and it's super cheap. I think all in all I have maybe $60 invested. Every type of power cable you can think of, every type of plug-in option, every type of power conversion option, everything you can think of, get one of those or two of those cables if you can, and then keep them on your bus, because you're always going to run into something. You know, you want to be able to plug in a universal, you want to have a universal kit, so anything can connect to and talk to and transfer power or data to and from anything else. So get as many of those types of cables as you can. You get the SAE cables, the 12 volt male and female sockets and plugs, the 2.5 and 5 millimeter and all those different types of plugs. You know, the AC jacks of the old days, audio video jacks. You want all of that stuff, because you don't want to be caught in a situation where you have something you can use, but you can't use it because you don't have the correct cable. Get every single cable you can think of. Clip-ons, anything you can think of. You will thank yourself in the morning. And again, I've done that, and I'm still collecting little bits of stuff. Right now I have maybe $62 invested in that. And I have peace of mind that I'm on the road and never without any way to hook to something. Alrighty, so that's my thoughts on the matter. So again, now this guy weighs 6.3 pounds, so he's pretty light. He's lighter than the Bonsai, which came in at 7 pounds. Oh, and also comparable, it has the same charging times as the Bonsai. Most of these units all have the same charging time. You plug it into a wall, 4 to 4.5 hours to fully charge it. If you're driving on the road or using a solar panel, 5 to 6 hours to fully charge it. That's because they all have these built monitors or check systems in them, so you can't overcharge it and blow up the battery. They all do the same things. I think that's an industry standard, and that's what I found with these guys anyways. So let's move on to the next one. Gonna be green power. And he kind of looks the same as the last guy we were just doing, but here it says, you know, green power on the back. So same for mine. It's got a handle that's you know, bolted to the top, folds down, so you can have easy storage of it, and then when you need to carry it, pick it up, you go. Differences on this unit compared to the other ones we've just looked at so far is on the top here it has a cell phone charging station. So you just take your cell phone. I would suggest taking it out of any cases that you have, because you draw too much juice trying to charge it through the case. But take it out of its whatever case it's in, just lay the cell phone right on top of there, charge it, get it fully charged, and put it back in its case and go about your day. But you have that option with this unit. Again, we have a light on the back with a light button, and you know, I don't think I've ever tried turning on the light when the unit was powered off, so let's see if that'll come on its own. Let's see if that'll happen. No, the unit has to be on. Okay, so we figured that out. Alright, so here we go. Now, another cool feature about this unit is it comes with a removable rubber base pad. This acts as an insulator, while at the same time it also keeps it from sliding around on surfaces. Protects you a little better, so that you're not, you're in a bus, you're in your vehicle, and you make a sharp turn or a quick stop, less likely that this thing is going to slide across whatever surface it's on and get broken. It's on an insulator pad. You know, that's good. You're at a party and it's on a table and somebody's spilling beer or whatever it is on the table, and the beer touches this thing. It's insulated from that electrical current. You know, you're not getting to blow anybody up or set fire to anything. So let's turn this guy on and see where we're at. This is out of the box recently. I've used it a few times, but let's see where we're at on the power. We are at currently 40% power, 38% power. So we'll need to plug this in and charge it up soon. I don't want it to go much slower than that. On here again we have two 110 AC plugs. We have a bank of USBs. Same thing again as the QC 3.0 quick charge. We got two of those, it looks like, and then we got two. It looks like one of them. What are those? I forget what those are, but they're not the C type. They're a different type of USB. that look more kind of oval. So they're whatever those are for. I've seen these. I have cameras that use this type of port. And over here we have DC output. That's your button. You have a button that turns each of these banks on. Down here you have the input, DC input, so this is where you would plug your solar panel into. Here we have a 12 volts, there's your 12 volt port, so you can either run 12 volt out or 12 volt in for charging. This here opens up, there's a little compartment here, but we don't know what it is. I looked in the directions for it, the book on how to run it, owner's manual. It's just an empty void there with this plastic cover, and I have no idea what it's for. I'm assuming another plug of some type went into there, but this version of the unit doesn't have it. Maybe one of the more expensive versions of it utilizes that port, but if you open this up, take this out, there's nothing in there. It's just an empty void, which is kind of weird. And that's pretty much all you can say for that. This thing is 9 pounds, so it's the heaviest of the units we've looked at so far. 256 watt continuous power, so it's the lowest of the guys so far that we've done, but it has a 300 watt peak, so you can run up to 300 watts. So you can probably run more. You can probably run 500 or 600. You just won't get the full life out of it, the full length of time out of it. You'll suck the battery down so fast that you'll kill it in half the time. Or it might even have a shut-off if you draw too much juice too fast. Now, with this guy, I paid $249 for it. That was on sale, but that's only because it comes with a 100 watt solar panel, foldable solar panel that plugs into it with all the cables, which is awesome. So without that solar panel, this unit was probably $169 or $170 just by itself, and then for the $249 you get the 100 watt solar panel that goes with it. I have not checked to see if you get full 100 watts when you're charging. I'm assuming it's going to be 70 to 80 watts, average. But if you get full direct sunlight and angle of the panel just right, you could probably get 100 watts, 99 to 100 watts, which I hope is going to be the case. And so let's put this guy to the side and move on to the next one. Okay, so this guy is the Pyramax. It also goes under the name Steelite. I've also seen them marketed with Pyramax and Steelite, both marked on the top at the same time. A couple of things about this unit. 330 watt continuous, which makes it the more powerful of the units we're looking at so far, with a 600 watt peak power output. Let's turn it on and see what we can do with it. So the power button, where is our power button? Right here, power button. Right now we're at 69% juice. No power going in, no power going out. It's static at the moment. So you got a button that runs 2 ACs, plug-ins. One's got a ground and the other one doesn't. You've got a USB port, so a button that runs the USBs, and you got a Type C, QC 3.0, USB 1, USB 2. Over here you got a DC 12 volt out. So you got 3 of those ports. That's nice to have. Here's your 12 volt input. So this you would plug your solar panel into this guy. Let's turn this off so we don't want to run the juice. Again, it also has a light on the back that has all the same functions: the SOS, the flashing emergency, the regular on. What makes this one neat and unique, in my opinion, on the top here is your 12 volt port. So this is if you're driving down the road or whatever and you want to charge it, this is how you do it. You plug your 12 volt port into the top, which to anybody who drives a vehicle on the road all the time and uses these things knows that's a handy feature to have. Because when they plug in from the sides, you have a chance of breaking them off. The unit could move, you could step on the cable, dog comes by and steps on them. Something can happen, something falls off your dash and hits it and takes the thing out. That has a lot better chance of happening when those ports are on the sides like that. But when it's mounted into the top, the cable's going straight down into the top, 90% of that problem is alleviated. Having the socket on the top to me is a great idea. Thank you for Pyramax for thinking of that. Kudos to you guys for doing that. Awesome. This guy, again, I got this one on sale. I got this for $169. Right now, if you go on Amazon, it's $189, $199, depending on what little features you get with it. It is, again, 9 pounds, so it's the same weight as the last one we were looking at, the Green Power. The handle's molded into this. This is not a movable handle. It doesn't pop off. It's in there. So that's another plus. For you guys who are really addicted on neat space, you know, maybe this will irk you or something like that, but to me that's not a deal breaker, because at a 40-foot bus I got 200 feet of space, square feet of space. I can put these things anywhere I want and not have to worry about storage problems. That doesn't exist on the bus. On Salvage one, he's good. But all in all, those are my options as far as 300 watt power units go, and I think that's the best way to go, because you have more options. You can move things around, as I mentioned. I would also like to cover a couple other different options while we're here. They're also very affordable, and they make sense to me, so hopefully they'll make sense to you when I explain it. But we have these units here. These are portable chargers. You see these at Walmarts and auto parts stores on the pegs by the checkout counters. And these are little portable chargers. This particular one is a 4,000 milliamp. You can get them a few different sizes, 7,000, 12,000, or even smaller at 3,000, 2,000. But I like to get the 4,000s. They're a good middle ground, and they're affordable. I'll tell you the pricing there in a minute. This is what they look like. I'm sure you've seen them. A lot of you probably even have them and you carry them around. They got a port. They got a USB port in the front. You got a power cable. I forget what the nomenclature is for that one, but 90% of cables sold comes in this fashion. Matter of fact, this one even comes with the cable as part of the unit. Right in here, so you can charge it from here. You can run stuff off of it from here. Here's your on and off button. It also has a feature where you plug it into your phone or whatever it is you're trying to charge. It'll turn on automatically and you don't have to mess with that. I can get 2 complete cell phone charges out of this battery pack for my iPhone 10. I'm running the lamp that is providing the light for this unit, for this video. I'm running that lamp off of one of these guys and it's doing just fine. There's no surging, there's no weakness of any kind. I think there's 2 bars still on there. We've been at this, 20 minutes now or so, and so plenty of power in these units. In this tote I have off to the side here, I have roughly 30 of these guys. I have them for everything. I have LED lights that run off battery packs. I have all kinds of equipment on the bus that run off little battery packs that you can charge. They have their own little rechargeable batteries, and these packs come in so handy. You can use them anywhere. Throw them in a pocket, take it out with you on the road. You know, if you leave your vehicle and you go into town, you can carry one of these, 2 of these, and always have power for your equipment. It's awesome for your cameras and your cell phones and everything. It's great. $9 right now. I've seen them on the pegs at Walmart for like $9.99. I've seen them online for Walmart for less at $7.99, but then you got to pay for shipping when it's all said and done, and so you end up paying less if you just bought it at the checkout. I've seen guys buying 5, 6, 7. They'd wipe out the entire peg when they get online in front of me, and then I'm like, oh, and I have to go to another line to try and find 1 or 2 and grab them and then go buy them and leave. So they're a pretty popular choice. Another choice is generators, gas generators. I know there's a lot of people out there who got this in their head that gas generators are evil and sent from hell and, you know, an abomination on the land, but 79cc gas generator putting out 1,200 to 1,500 watts of power with a 1 gallon to 1.4 gallon tank that'll last 11 and a half hours of use at the low to mid-range power usage. So say you had a device that was running under 1,200 watts, you can get 11 hours to 11 and a half hours out of a tank of fuel. And that still puts out less carbon emissions than what it takes to build your Tesla, your electric car that you're so fond of. That's going to save the environment. Well, all the equipment and everything that's needed, the mining and all the stuff and everything that's needed to make that unit, make that Tesla, you've already polluted the rubber the car is so heavy from these batteries. When you're driving down the road, the rubber is peeling off the tires. You're poisoning the environment with just the rubber on your tires 3-4 times more than you would an average regular car. Because a battery car like a Tesla or a Lucid or whatever these other cars are 2 times heavier, almost 2 times as heavier than a regular car. So they haven't made special tires for them. They're still using the regular tires. So you're wearing the tread on them twice as fast, and you're polluting twice as fast with those, just the tires. Not counting all of the other stuff it took to make that car and the energy it took to power that car. All of that throws off carbon emissions. So you guys are just being ridiculous when you trash on a little 79cc motor pumping out next to nothing. You fart more than that generator will ever put out poisonous fumes for the atmosphere. But I use those as a backup, and because I have an e-bike, these generators here, 300 watts, are not strong enough to fully charge unless you link them together. That's another thing you do, is you can chain them together with cables and turn 300 watts into 900 watts, or however many power banks you got. At that point, you could probably charge up an e-bike, but I have a 1200 watt e-bike, and realistically, you either got to plug that into shore power, 110 shore power, or you got to run a generator and plug it in the generator until it's charged. And I always have that on the bus as a backup option as well. I cannot stress enough, have options when you're on the road. And these guys here, from this to a generator to these little guys here, be ready, be on the road, be prepared, have fun out there. These will allow you to maximize your fun, because you have options. Put some of these together so you can see they all kind of run roughly the same size. These 300 watt units, they all kind of run the same size. And where's my little guy here? Try to pick this up here. Yeah, I don't know if you're catching them all in here in the video, but here you go. Here's your power options. Never be without power. Always give yourself options and have fun out there. Affordable power can be had. You can be on the road weeks at a time. Never even have to plug into shore power. As long as you got solar panels, or you can charge off your vehicle itself while it's running. All you got to do is stop in for fuel every once in a while, and then you're on the road. And if you're lucky enough and you're somewhere where you can just plug it into shore power, view somebody's kindness. As long as you have access to fuel or sunlight, you have options. So write down in the comments below if you got any questions about this stuff, or comments about it, or tell me what your feelings are. Do you like the 1800 watt, 2000 watt units? I may get one of those one day just to see what it's like, but right now I'm convinced that this is the better way to go, the better option. Like, share, subscribe. Again, comment below. I don't have Patreon set up yet because we're not a big enough channel for that. We barely got 100. I think we just cracked 115 subscribers, so yay, thank you for that. Every little bit helps. I do have it's kind of like Patreon, and I listed in the comments section or the description below the video. If you feel like donating a couple bucks here or there, that's cool. If not, please just subscribe, and if you can comment, that helps me greatly with the algorithms for YouTube. Have fun out there, guys. Be on the road. Don't be afraid to be out there. Just do it. Just do it. I'm sure I'll get sued by Nike or something for saying that, but it's a good saying, so I'm going to use it. Goodbye.